What is up? Welcome into the Double FU, the FU times 2, the fantasy football universe. I am Jeremy. This is Jesse. We are here today to talk NFL trades, go through a little bit of the fantasy fallout from the guys who got moved, who are fantasy relevant, where they went to, where they left. But what's more important is we're here for the people. We're here to answer any and every fantasy question, start, sit, trade questions ahead of week 10. It is a interesting and difficult week with another 4 teams on bye, 3 awful defenses on bye. We never love to see that for fantasy. So, hey, it's a little crazy in these streets, but we got to do what we got to do. We got to try and win week 10. If you want to try and win week 10, 11, and beyond, join our Discord. It's in the link tree in our bio over on Twitter. Just jump in. It's a bunch of people talking ball from the FFU and a bunch of others. A lot of knowledgeable folks in there, so join up. And then also, if you've never used FastDraft before, use FastDraft now. Use promo code FFU. You get a free $25 on us if you spend $25. If you want, why not? You're going to do some DFS. You're going to spend $25 anyway. Just get a free promo code FFU. Hey, whatever. Who cares? That's the business. Here's the pleasure. Jesse, what up?
Yeah, I'm enjoying my Saturday. Hopefully doing better than the teams that have the Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lambs, the Rashee Rices of the world all on buys this week, along with Patrick Mahomes and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, it's not a lot of teams. The bye-apocalypse week 8, we're not hitting that level. But, yeah, there's a lot of impactful fantasy players. And for a couple of those teams, the Bengals and freaking Cowboys, their defenses are just a shoo-in for fantasy points. So it's going to be an interesting week moving forward. I want to see how it impacts. And we already had the godsend himself, Brock Bowers, put up a historically bad game after quite possibly the greatest game of his career. So it's just fantasy football, man. It's chaos every which week. I hope y'all are ready to get into it.
Yeah, man. And Dobbins doesn't score, which hurts you. RJ Harvey didn't score, which hurts you. We knew it was gonna if he didn't, and it certainly did. Cortland Sutton, terrible game as well. Bo Nix, awful game. Like there was, Ashton Genty probably saved your day because he was like the only dude who actually scored a touchdown in this game, who you started. But yeah, that was a rough one. That's all we're going to talk about now. Let's talk about more interesting topics, Jesse, like Adonai Mitchell. Let's talk about Adonai Mitchell. He is now a Jet. Oh, hang on. Gone to the Jets in a deal for Sauce Gardner. The Jets not only get AD Mitchell, but 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, who apparently is the far and away best cornerback in the NFL based on this deal. Absolutely ridiculous. He hasn't even been playing that well in the last year and a half. I'm not sure what's up with him. But anyway, he goes to the Colts. Colts desperately need a cornerback, so fine. They didn't like AD Mitchell from last season, let alone when he dropped the ball running into the end zone this year and kind of cost them that game. But let's talk about AD Mitchell because Garrett Wilson is talking about AD Mitchell. He's singing his praises. You look at the Jets depth chart, which we're going to do here in a couple of minutes. There's nobody there. AD can get on the field as early as this week and make an impact. All he's got to do is beat out the likes of Alan Lazard and Arian Smith. It's not a tall task. Let's start with Dynasty, Jesse. What do you think about AD Mitchell in terms of his dynasty value? Are you a little bit more excited now for the former second-round pick?
Yeah, I'm at least interested because he's going to get on the field, which he was not doing with the Colts. They clearly did not like him, and there's a lot of off-field stuff going on with him where he was clearly not mature enough to do what they wanted him to do in this offense. Not to mention they had Alec Pierce, who's better than they thought he was, right? You had Michael Pittman, who's just a professional, good wide receiver. Then we got Tyler Warren. You also have Josh Downs. Like, there's a lot of pieces there, right? He goes from there, and we're talking – There's another Tyler. It's Tyler Johnson's probably the wide receiver 2 on the Jets right now. Alan Lazard, all these guys that just are not good. There's no target competition at all. We got they have John Mechie on their team. Somehow he got traded over there a couple weeks ago. We got Isaiah Williams, which is probably someone almost no one knows in Dynasty because he's just simply just an afterthought. He'll be on the field, which is cool. I know in certain Discords we've been in, people still like him a lot. Like they like the tools and talent he had because he ran like a 4.3 40. Like he's big. He does a lot of things that you like, but yeah, this is the perfect scenario for me. If I could somehow package him into a second, I would so happily do that in a minute. Just because The quarterback is still awful. Like, it's still very bad quarterback play, whether
yeah.
it's Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor comes back. He's not very good either. So it's going to be incredibly hard to support them because, to your point, Garrett Wilson's going to soak up all the targets to begin with, right? It's Garrett Wilson. Then they have Mason Taylor's a little interesting as tight end, and it's just kind of just Breece Hall is going to be involved. Yeah, so it's just tough. I think you can talk yourself into him if you want to stream him. If you want to do a third-round pick, sure, I'm fine with that. But, like, if I can package him into a second, I would love to do that. Honestly, I think that's the perfect time to do that because there is a little hype around this guy at the moment. How are you viewing him with the Jets? Do you think he can be viable at all? And are you interested in acquiring him yourself?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The third round pick might even feel a little bit rich. I would be surprised that after a week or two of him doing kind of nothing, which is really what I expect over the next couple of weeks, if you couldn't just, throw a fourth out there to go get him right now, like you said, I think you probably need to do at least a third. Some people people are hyped after trades like these. Sometimes it takes a new, new environment for these guys to go off. We've seen it with all these quarterbacks in the last couple of years. You can see it with guys like AD Mitchell, former second round pick. Tape looked great. Texas stuff was good. I thought he was very close to what Xavier Worthy looked like on tape. Worthy, obviously the better prospect, but AD Mitchell in the second round, it's not like he has zero draft capital. I think he could be a viable asset, but like you said, you're not paying up for this guy. Certainly, if you can get a second for him, I would. That's how we play the dynasty game. And look, let's pretend he gets on the field and he is let's give Mason Taylor his flowers a little bit. And let's say AD Mitchell is the third target or even the fourth target with Breece Hall in the backs. It won't matter in this offense for you for fantasy. So redraft, he's a 0, especially with the shorter starting rosters. In dynasty, deep leagues, you want to stash him. You want to throw a third because you believe in the talent. Yeah, that's cool. But I'd wait a couple weeks and hope he becomes, does nothing and is maybe available for a fourth.
Yep, 100%. I'm right there with you. We're in lockstep on that one.
Yep. Who is more interesting is maybe Tyler Johnson. He's available on waivers, could be productive. Maybe John Mechie. I really like John Mechie too. You talk about former second round picks instead of these fourth rounders and undrafted free agents like Isaiah Williams. So I think AD Mitchell is at least interesting, but you certainly don't want to go ahead and, pay up to acquire him. Let's talk about a second guy here. A guy who just went to your team, Rashid Shaheed. Very, very interesting. I won't say too much about him because we know the most about this guy, I'd say. Simply over the last couple of years, there's a lot of hype for him in fantasy based on his skill set, but New Orleans just couldn't get him the ball with the horrible quarterbacks and offensive line play that they've experienced. They ship him out of town, shipped him to Seattle. How do you feel like he fits into this offense in reality, and what are your expectations for him for fantasy?
So the interesting thing about Shaheed is his role changed a little bit this year, and he was pacing for 125 targets. His average depth of target, everything came down, and this is partly due to Spencer Rattler. He's not going to sling it downfield, but he is kind of what I was calling him JMO South, and now I'm just calling him JMO West with the Seahawks because what they need is they need someone to do exactly what Shaheed's going to do. You have JSN, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, soaking up all the targets in the middle, doing that. You want Shaheed to take top off the defense. So it's going to be what we've seen earlier in Shaheed's career, where you look at his yards per target, where he's at 17 yards per target previously. Right now he's at 11 with the Saints. That is going to get closer to what we've seen previously because he's a game breaker. Rashid Shaheed is I know he's an undrafted rookie. Clearly, the team's missed on how talented this guy was because you see what he can do and when he steps on the field, how he kind of changes it. So I think he's actually going to open up the offense a little bit more for Seattle. I'm curious to see because target share and rate and stuff, he was at a good percent. I don't expect him to be near that with Seattle. That's not how the offense is going to orchestrate. So I'm curious. I think he's a very talented player. I'm not worried about Cooper Kupp at all. I do not care about Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp's completely washed at this point in time. What's interesting to see how his role impacts Torrey Horton, and if Torrey Horton's really going to basically just get completely benched because he was the young, promising rookie that looked really good. They're still going to have Cooper Kupp on the field because he can still block. He does everything you like. He's just – you watch him run routes, so you're kind of just oh, boy, this is kind of rough, right? So I think Shaheed can be the number 2 target in this offense. That's entirely in his range of outcomes.
Sure.
How viable that's going to be, that's another story. But this is going to be one of the better offenses in the NFL. They already had Sam Darnold at an insanely high touchdown rate. Like, it just takes the offense to a little bit another level because you look at their roster, there was no one else capable of doing what he was doing. This is why there was so much hype about Elijah Arroyo, because they were talking about a downfield threat. The Seahawks really didn't have that. They went and got it with Rashid Shaheed. So I'm excited to see him and Darnold and the play caller's offense, which was previous with the Saints. So that's why they went out and got him, because they're familiar with him, right? And yeah, they're going to get some bombs. It's going to be fun. So for fantasy, I'm interested to see. I like Rashid Shaheed. I think he's a good player, but it's more. I think I'm more excited to see actual real NFL product and how that impacts, because that one I see the upside's a little bit higher.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Kaizen, what is up with you? Thanks for joining us. In terms of Rashid Shaheed, if you just look at what he was able to do, what you referenced, the targets were there, and he was roughly good for 4 receptions per game. In fact, he had a stretch from week 2 to week 7. That's 6 games in a row with 4 receptions in every single game, caught a couple of touchdowns. And then, that was also his low watermark on the season. Otherwise, he had 6, 9, and 5. Like you said, I don't think the volume is going to be there. He saw, for example, 9 targets in 3 games with the Saints, 12 targets in another game. So that's not going to be the case with JSN next to him. At the same time, he's an interesting, like you said, JMO light, like a boom bust type of guy. We know he's capable of taking the top off. We know he's capable of catching those JMO-esque slants and taking it to the house. They can do interesting bubble screens with him, and I think they will. What's interesting to see is just kind of how Kubiak designs this offense with Shaheed in the fold, knowing what he was doing with them in New Orleans last year. And with a capable quarterback. So do I expect big things from Shaheed for fantasy? No. You plug him in bye weeks and you cross your fingers that he has a big week. He's your last flex on a loaded roster, and a big week helps you win the week. But for me, Shaheed is not a guy I'm kind of going after. But let's talk about dynasty. I mean, he's still a young guy, right? He's 27 years old, so he's in his prime. We know these speedsters tend to have a little bit of a longer shelf life as well. And I think he's more than that. He's a little more complete than that. But given all of the mouths on this offense, what do you think about him longer term? Obviously, Cooper Kupp is close to done. Jake Bobo doesn't seem like a piece who's going to necessarily hang around. And they're probably going to bring somebody in. Horton will be there. These tight ends will be there. But can Shaheed carve out a meaningful fantasy role in this offense in the next couple of years?
Yes, but like the Saints were throwing it 37 times a game. The Seahawks are right now at 27 pass attempts per game. That's a dramatic reduction. Even if he keeps a 20% target share, it just brings down the total attempts you're going to get in the game. So I think he becomes more of a best ball wide receiver, like a guy that you could play if you need him, but it's flex at best just because the risk is there. Unless they shift how they run this offense, right? Like they've been super efficient with their pass attempts. Like maybe they expand and they increase a little more. Maybe we get up to 30 pass attempts a game. But there's only, I think I just read this. There's only 2 teams that are passing less than the Seahawks per game. It's it's Philadelphia and Baltimore, the 2 run heaviest organizations, right? So I don't think people realize how much efficiency is baked into this passing attack outside of JSN because he's getting insane volume. I think maybe he takes a little bit away from JSN because you actually have another guy you can count on. But long term, they traded a 4th and I think a 5th to get him. So they're probably going to re-sign him. He's going to be there. I think this lets Horton slide into the wide receiver 3, and you kind of build these 3 guys the next 3 years. So it's setting up really well. And I think it's just he's just capped. It's kind of unfortunate for fantasy because I think it's a little bit worse for him just because you're not going to get the volume. So it creates these massive games where you'll see, we talk about JMO, right? Like similar to that where he'll put up 0 and then he'll put up 20 the next week. And it's just so hard to predict that with wide receivers in general. So I don't mind sending a second on if you're a contender, sure. But I think there's probably better, more consistent assets you could pivot into instead of buying into Shaheed. And I could be wrong. I think he's a really talented player. So, usually we want to bet on talented players. I'm just a little bit worried about him.
That's an interesting point. And guys, we see your questions in the chat. Give us about 3 minutes to wrap up this conversation on Shaheed, and we'll get right to him. But it does bring up an interesting point, Jesse. You're talking about, potentially kind of moving off of Shaheed. We like to prey off of hype if we can in Dynasty. If you're looking to acquire a running back at this stage, you're contending, you got Shaheed and you're not really playing him. How do you move off of him? Who are you looking to acquire in a Dynasty league to make a contending run?
Yeah, I think it gets really interesting, right? Because it's also team needs independent. If someone's coming after Shaheed, they clearly like this guy. They probably like this situational upgrade for him. He's not young. Like you said, he's 27. So for Dynasty, he's going to be 28 next year. That really caps these guys' ceiling unless you're putting up a Cooper Cup like 2021 year where they're just massive difference makers. That's not going to be Shaheed, right? So he'll be in that range where people don't probably want to pay an early 2. They'll probably pay a late 2. You'll probably get like package deals on rebuilders where it'll be a 3+ type deal for him and stuff like that, right? I don't mind doing that. If you're looking to pivot off, just go target injured guys. Like that's usually the easiest way to do it. So running back situation, like what plus can you pay to get to Trey Benson? Players like that, players that are on the field, and tight ends. Like there's a million tight ends, so pick your tight end. Maybe you're big on Andrews. You're big on one of these. Like you know what? You could pick your old veteran tight ends. I say Kelsey, but like Kelsey's on every contending team in the history of contending teams. Like I don't see
he
a
really
is team that has
for
him.
years. For years now.
The one team is SC in our FF Empire League. His team is torn down to the studs. He's got Kelsey. So that's the one team. Other than that, yeah. But that's what I would look to do. If you could sell, like if you're rebuilding, you pivot off him for a second. I think that's fine. Like I don't think it's going to be different making. So, and then there's RJ Harvey. I think that's another one. If you want to take a gamble on RJ Harvey, maybe somebody that contenders kind of is kind of just like worn down.
You're
going
to need a plus. You're going to need a plus.
You are going to need, and also the news about Dobbins getting injured does not help that, right? But if you like Harvey or you like those young guys, or maybe you want to do Caleb Johnson, you could take a flyer on Caleb Johnson, right? You could do that. And maybe next year it works out for him because it's gone about as bad as possible. So I think you can kind of get into that range. Maybe you do Jalen Warren, Swift, or contender guys like that because people don't really like value those guys insanely high. I think that's kind of what we're talking about doing. Where are you kind of at with him? Are you buying him, selling him, or where would you rank him in that dynasty rankings?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's interesting, but he's kind of in that Jaden Reed-esque pool. I mean, Reed, you would argue, I think is a little bit more valuable this season in Dynasty. I think when he comes back, you'll see his value rise simply because Tucker Kraft is gone. We want to see Reed on the field, but I don't think they're going to have a choice in Green Bay. So we'll see, but maybe in that Christian Watson mold, right? If Watson kind of has another decent game or doesn't, I think these guys are hovering right around that back end wide receiver 3, to all the way to back end wide receiver 4 in that range somewhere. My question is, and you mentioned a few of them, but let me just throw out a couple of 1-for-1 guys, and then we'll get into these questions here in the chat. My first question is, would you move Rashid Shaheed for Travis Etienne?
Yeah, if I need a running back, sure. Like I like Etienne's pathway as much as I like Bashal Tootin. He's not impacting it. So yeah, I'm fine with that. If you need a running back, that's a fine spot for me. Like I think Etienne's a back end RB too. So I'm okay with that.
You need a running back, Tyrone Tracy.
That one's a little bit riskier because the next year scenario, and we also have him losing snaps to Singletary, which is kind of weird. I did not expect that to happen. So
disappointing. I
don't really want to go into freaking Tyrone Tracy, but there is more upside attached to him if he gets his role back. That seems like you're taking on a lot of risk with that type of deal. So probably not, but I think that's in the right range. Like you're talking about, those running backs make a ton of sense.
Speaking of potential upside, Tyler Algier.
Oh, I mean, do you have Bijan? Because are you going to play Algier and he's going to be on your roster, right? So I think if you want to insulate Bijan on your roster, because you talk about the upside, if he gets injured, there's significant upside. So yeah, if you're not playing Shaheed and he's just chilling on your bench and you want to get Algier, you want to handcuff Bijan. Yeah. But I'm not really using Shaheed to target handcuff running backs because I think you can pivot into more valuable players for the time being. But yeah, that's not a bad idea if you have Bijan. I don't mind doing that.
Perfect. Last one, and then straight to the questions in the chat. I think I would do this in a heartbeat. Are you going to use Rashid Shaheed to go get Aaron Jones?
Yeah, that's fine. He has the pathway to being a very, very valuable running back, particularly because they don't pass with JJM. Like we talked about lack of passes. JJM's pass attempts per game have been absolutely abysmal. They need to increase that. But right now they are heavily invested in those running backs with him. So also you have another guy dealing with an injury. So you have to stay focused with Aaron Jones. You're probably going to miss some time at some point again this year. But yeah, the times he plays will be more valuable than she will be.
agree with you. Potential RIP to Jordan Addison's fantasy value if Minnesota becomes the Carolina Panthers and they try to hide JJ McCarthy by using their running backs. We'll see. But we know, we know Justin Jefferson is going to get his. All right. To the questions. Thank you for your patience. Kaizen says, should I trade McBride for London and Kittle? I like it.
Yes.
My wide receiver is CD
Yes.
Waddle, DK Tet, full PPR, no premium or super flex redraft.
Smash. I mean, like, you're getting George Kittle, right? And you're getting a wide receiver 1 on top of that. That's like as good of a deal as you could possibly get if you're tearing down. Because this is redraft. You're not getting the dynasty installation from McBride, so you're just taking the production now. London's going to outscore McBride on a points per game basis. Like, you're going to get that, and then Kittle will get you close. So for me, this is a smash. Where are you at on this one?
Yeah, obviously it's McBride over Kittle based on the situation. We love Jacoby Brissett for him. Mm-hmm. We love the touchdown situation that has been playing out since Brissett has taken over as starter. We don't like the fact that Kittle is blocking a ton for CMC, but you get one of the best wide receivers in the league, albeit inconsistent. He has a decent floor, and obviously we saw his super high ceiling, so I'm with you. Go ahead and trade McBride away if you're getting a top-tier tight end like Kittle. Kittle will bounce back some, but I do think McBride outscores him rest of the season. Yep. Start 3 from Jason. So he needs a wide receiver in the slot. He's got Wandale. Snow. Are they expecting snow in New York?
It's weird weather from what I need to look up on a little bit, but I want to see how windy it's going to be. I'm not 100% sure on it.
All right. So Wandale, Shakir, Tet, already starting Rico. You got to start Rico this week. Good. Vidal, Kamara. So, what are you thinking? Let's rank these for Jason here.
So I'm going to do Wandale over Shakir. Like, I'm just going to do that. Tet, I'm going to have the highest ranked of these. So among the wide receivers, it's going to go be Tet, Wandale, Shakir for me. The running backs, I'm not doing Alvin Kamara, man. I'm just not doing it. It's just ugly right now. The hope, and I've talked about this yesterday on TikTok, is the hope he earns more targets because they took away Shaheed. But we have no idea if it's going to play out. They clearly want to limit him there. So I would actually probably play Tet. I would go Wandale, and then I would probably play Vidal and just chase the upside, even though the offense is kind of all over the place. How are you ranking these guys?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about Vidal. Obviously, I don't expect it to be as bad as it was last week. I don't expect it to be as good as it was 2 weeks ago. But I can't trust him. I think against Miami, I'm more comfortable trusting Khalil Shakir, so he's my 3. I'll probably go Wandale over Tet just because of how little Carolina is passing the football. But yeah, I'll go Wandale, Tet, Shakir. It's really tough with Vidal and already starting Rico. Yeah, but I can't trust Vidal at the moment. Also, Khalil Shakir on the week is my wide receiver 28, so take that for what it's worth. A high-end wide receiver 3, simply because of the matchup. Good luck with that one. Jason's got another one. Currently have Isaiah Davis and Ayuk. Do I keep both or drop one to pick up? Yes, so you got to drop one of these guys, and you probably got to pick up Golden, Tootin, Corum? What are you thinking here?
Oof, this is tough. So Gainwell doesn't really get on the field. I don't think Gainwell really enters the discussion among these guys. DeMarcado had a decent role last week. Benson's missing this game. Everything's ruling him out. So I don't mind Amari if you need production now. Chubb, it's gross, man. I don't want to do Davis Mills this week. No thank you on that. And then if you want to insulate with upside, it's Tootin. Tootin has a massive amount of upside, or Corum does if you think there's an injury to either one of those running backs. So I would target whichever of those running backs you prefer as a handcuff personally. Yeah. How are you kind of doing these?
Yeah, I really like Corum just simply because of the offense that he's in. Tootin less so, but at least he's getting a bit more work. The problem is they keep putting LaQuint Allen on the field because they want to see his juice, and Travis Etienne is still getting a crap ton of work. So I do like Matthew Golden. I know he's had some down weeks. I know Christian Watson's back. Jaden Reed is coming back. But we know these second half wide receivers have the ability to pop. It's possible Matthew Golden is better than Christian Watson. It's possible that Matthew Golden is on the field much more than Jaden Reed. I don't think those are necessarily things that are outside the realm of possibility. And certainly with Kraft down, there's huge opportunity here. I'd probably go with Corum over Golden. Probably go Corum, Tootin, Golden. But the real question is, who are you dropping? I'm dropping Ayuk.
Yeah, if you're not playing Davis and you're just rostering him as a handcuffed, I think it's a very similar, like picking up a handcuff running back for him. It's kind of the same. If Ayuk's not going to start for you, there's no point in rostering him. Just like drop him. If the only way I would have him IR is if I thought I could trade him or if I thought he's going to enter my starting lineup. If you don't, then you could drop Ayuk. I think it's totally fine. That injury is just similar to Chris Godwin. Like we just don't know when they're coming back, and Chris Godwin seems pretty significant too. So yeah, you just can drop those guys. It's fine.
Pretty sure I saw, I'm not sure if it was fake news or not, but that Ayuk's window was opened like yesterday. So something to keep in mind. They're going to have to make a decision. They'll activate him, but how much will he play? Hopefully Ricky Pearsall will be back by that point. Are Jennings and Bourne and everybody going to be healthy? Is Purdy going to be healthy? There's just a lot of question marks there. We want Ayuk to be 100%. The guy he was. We know that talent's in him, but with him coming back from injury, this whole offense being crazy injured, Kittle not even getting involved much because he was injured. I just don't trust Ayuk to come back and be the same old Ayuk at all this season. I don't think you're going to be comfortable starting him, so I'm happy to drop him. Moving on. Yeah, Seahawks are a big surprise, 6-2, leading the division. That's obviously, you can see Jesse's shirt. He's a Seattle boy. The Seahawks have been a pleasant surprise, beating the Rams. I don't know if they actually beat the Rams, but at least they're ahead of the Rams in the standings. And then the Niners are 6-3. I don't know. That might be an alphabetical thing. No, it's not. So I don't know why they're ahead. Do you know why they're ahead of the Rams in the standings?
I'm actually not sure on that because that's actually a good question. I don't know why they're ahead of the Rams. I think it might be doing like a tiebreaker scenario. Either it's better in the division or it's
points
like
four.
in the NFC.
Points four, maybe.
It might be points 4. It could be that too.
They have 22 more points than the Rams this season. Hey, good crap there. Jason's got another one. Pittman, Waddle, Tet, Warren, Kamara, DJ Moore. 2 must be wide receiver slots, and then I assume the third is a flex. Who are you starting this week?
Pittman and Waddle and Jalen Warren. Like it just seems straightforward to me. You could do DJ Moore if you wanted to, but like it's just super risky. Pittman's role is awesome. Jalen Waddle gets no target competition, and Jalen Warren has a really good role. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it going with that.
Yep, I agree with all of those things. The only thing that I want to consider is DJ Moore going against. It's a really good matchup again for him this week. It's the New York Giants, right? So Paulson Adebo for the Giants also out. He was probably their best corner over the last couple of weeks. He's not going to play in this game. So it's going to be wide open. Caleb is once again going to do whatever the hell he wants. Probably not going to catch a touchdown, but 3 touchdown passes is on the table for him once again. If DJ Moore catches one of those, you are happy with the day. And all of their running backs, even though I think they're all scheduled to play, were limited this week in practice. So they got various ailments. It could be the Caleb show. That being said, I'm going to start Pittman, Waddle, and Warren along with you. I think Waddle's going to have a really nice day.
Yep. 100%. We're locked in, baby.
Currently have Nick Chubb and Judy. Should I keep them on my bench or drop one of them to pick up Parker? Who's Parker?
Parker Washington, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. Mooney, Keon Coleman, or handcuffs. All right. So first of all, Jerry Jeudy is droppable. We can drop Jerry Jeudy. Dylan Gabriel or whoever the hell is going to step in at quarterback for this team for the rest of the season is not going to be able to get the ball outside to Jerry Jeudy, and they certainly do not want to do anything like put him in the middle of the field because that's where these 2 gigantic tight ends live, and they throw the ball to them on every single play, and they only throw the ball 18 times a game. So, I love the tight ends in this offense, and obviously Quinshon Judkins. I do not want anybody else. Jeudy, you have to drop right away. Nick Chubb, I kind of want to hold on to. So, Jesse, why don't you talk to us? It seemed like you agree with me on Jeudy. Talk to me a little bit about your thoughts on Nick Chubb, and then if you're dropping one or both, who are you picking up?
Well, like the whole Nick Chubb thing is really rough because he's never been a pass catcher in his entire career. He's just been a really efficient runner. He's in a timeshare with Woody Marks, and he's actually losing snaps and overall attempts to Woody Marks. So it creates these game scripts where he can get completely scripted out. Particularly, this is going to happen this upcoming week because you got Davis Mills on the field, and that is going to be gross. Overall, so like I would say keep Nick Chubb if you're going to play him. But like if you value any of these running backs down here as potential like higher upside, I'd be fine dropping him for any one of these guys. To tell you the truth, I think it's really capped for Nick Chubb in that offense. And even when they had CJ Stroud, it was really difficult for him to get much unless he got a touchdown. So, like, if you could trade Nick Chubb for anything, happily do that. But I'm fine, honestly, cutting both of these guys for Parker Washington, or if you like Darnell Mooney, I'm doing that. And then I like Tootin. Gainwell's probably not the one, but like Gordon or like Isaiah Davis, like totally fine with that. And even like Chris Rodriguez is basically Nick Chubb in just slightly better offense sometimes. Like it's very similar. Those two are actually very similar because they talked about Rodriguez as the team captain there too. So he might be getting more work. So it would not shock me to see him outscore Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Which is gross.
I don't know if I can drop Chubb for Rodriguez. I can drop Chubb for Davis. Davis is at least interesting to me because they're utilizing him in the passing game. I don't expect Justin Fields to hold the job as well. So if it's Tyrod Taylor, the checkdowns will come. And I think Tyrod Taylor gets back on the field at least for a couple games, if nothing else. I agree with you. I'm probably dropping both of these guys. I'm definitely taking Parker Washington. Nobody's healthy there. I know Jacoby just came into town. He's the only other healthy guy, but everybody else is coming back from injury. I think BTJ is going to play this week, but he looked bad in terms of his injury. And then we know De'Ami Brown's got the concussion. We know Brenton Strange has been out for like 2 months. We don't know when he's coming back. There's nothing going on there. So I'm absolutely grabbing Parker Washington and plugging him in the next week to 3 weeks. And then I'm probably going Isaiah Davis. But Tootin's interesting, right? Look, if this offense, I'm saying pick up 2 Jags, but if this offense can get it going, it's possible. It's possible here. Yeah, I'd probably grab the 2 Jags. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. Get it together, T-Law. Get it together. We need you.
What the hell? Yo, Frosty, what is up? Trade Tet for Quinshawn Judkins. Yes.
Smash it.
Yeah. Tet isn't scoring touchdowns. They're not throwing the ball. Dave Canales is hiding his quarterback, who is not good. The quarterback whisperer can no longer be heard by his quarterback. Things are going to be weird because they're going to have to get rid of Bryce Young and get somebody else, but they're also winning games. It's just a strange thing. Here's the thing. Short quarterbacks cannot play in this league. Russell Wilson had something going on where he was able to figure it out for a few years. But he also had one of the best defenses in the league, with that Legion of Boom. He also had a really nice offensive line, an amazing run game, and he was able to scramble to the outside, and he had a decent mind. Obviously, you see him on lesser teams now, and with a lesser skill set because his skills have declined, and he's got nothing going for him here. So short quarterbacks are not the answer for reality or for fantasy. Get Judkins.
Yeah, like with the whole Russell Wilson thing is like when the NFL shifted to more 2 high safeties, it basically killed Russell Wilson because he was constantly hitting those deep shots. They've kind of taken that away from him. That was his always his cheat card because he had one of the best deep balls in the NFL. When they did that, Russell Wilson never had an answer because if you look at like his heat maps for passing, the middle of the field is just like a ghost town. He doesn't pass there. So he's strictly on the outsides. It's really hard. Bryce Young's a little bit better at dealing with that. He can at least see it somewhat, like he can rise up, but yeah, there's limitations to his game because of that, and this is tough when you're short. Like it's just we hate to say it, but the NFL is not for short quarterbacks. It's really difficult for them.
Well, when you got 5 dudes, 300 pounds, 6'7", standing in front of you, it's really hard to see those guys. Well, but 10 dudes, crazy. So that's why you see all these quarterbacks with these long necks, right? Did you see the Davis Mills? Did you see the Trevor Lawrence versus Davis Mills bowl? Those are all their necks. That's why you have these, because these quarterbacks are going like this, so they can see over those guys. Nurture, not nature, I guess. Jason Ortiz says currently have Mike Evans and Judy. Need to drop one. So we told you, Jason, you got to drop Judy. Mike Evans, I think, probably needs to go. In redraft, Mike Evans needs to go. So what are you doing for QB for next week? Dak, Geno, Rodgers, Mariota, Fields, McCarthy, Penix. I don't have my next week schedule up, but I like Dak. I'm not sure who he's playing. That's not by this week. I'm looking it up.
As I said,
I got you.
Yeah, week 12, Dallas is playing. I mean, I want Dak. He's been the best. They're playing
week 11. Week 11.
Oh, excuse me, week 11. They're playing Las Vegas. Oh, good Lord.
Go get Dak.
Yeah, I mean, Dak's really good. He's quarterback 7 on the year. The fact you even have a chance to pick him up is kind of surprising, but the rest of these guys, there's all risk. And I like the upside of Fields, the downside is 0. McCarthy, they don't pass enough to trust. Penix is not mobile. So, yeah, just take Dask. He's by far the best option in this group.
Yep. Mariota plays Miami, so that's an interesting one as well,
you can stream
especially
Mariota.
if McLaurin comes back. I mean, that will be a really nice spot for him. But I'd go Dak 1, Mariota 2.
Same. And then if you want the upside of like stash McCarthy in case it changes, sure. But yeah, I'm with you.
Agree. Thoughts on RJ Harvey with Dobbins injured? We mentioned this earlier. Warren, Swift, Monangai range. What do you think about Harvey? Let's talk about this season and then beyond.
So we need to get confirmation on if Dobbins is missing time because I think he's just going to play through this injury because Dobbins, if people don't know, is probably one of the toughest running backs in the league. He's had significant injuries in his career, and he's still out there discerning steps. So if Dobbins is still playing, he might lose some snaps, and this gives RJ Harvey the chance to like be on the field a lot. I don't know, man. Like he's not going to earn like the Warren role unless like Dobbins is completely off the field. And then even then, they probably don't trust him enough because they'll bring in Batty. They'll do these things, right? So the upside is there for Harvey. I don't mind him, but like if Swift or Monangai are healthy, I'd start those guys over him. I'll start Jalen Warren over him until we see more just because he's been super efficient. But we saw this with like running backs who are super efficient. Look at JCM. He was incredibly efficient early on in the season. It flipped, and we don't have the volume. It's just so hard to trust. So yeah, there's upside. It's just we need more news before I can make a declarative statement on RJ Harvey. I know you seem to like him more than I am. How excited are you if Miss Dobbins misses the rest of the season? Where would you rank RJ Harvey?
Yeah, I was very excited. You know, he's a mid-range RB2 for sure. But then they just laid an egg against Vegas. I know these division matchup and these Thursday night games get a little crazy. But the other thing to your point is we're not going to know on Dobbins until like Tuesday because these teams don't have to report it and they played so early in week 10. So we're not going to know. But yeah, I think RJ Harvey is going to give you mid-range RB2 volume. But Jesse, also you missed the boat on the Batty Bidet pronunciation. I think he used to be a baddie. I think he used to be a baddie because he was scoring fantasy points. Now he's playing like a bidet. And so you really just want to make sure that my man isn't kind of, going to the toilet with that. So, yeah, it's real bad. But tell me, Jesse, who you want rest of season, RJ Harvey or Jalen Warren?
Warren. Like, there's no question marks about Warren's role, and he's been a good and efficient. Like, you're kind of hoping best case scenario for RJ Harvey is Jalen Warren. Like, to be truthful, that's like Jalen Warren's been a good back in the NFL, and he's been like his role's really good. So I think that's type of like if it all works out, or RJ Harvey, like everything comes together. You're hoping he becomes Swift, like Warren. Like I think that's like a really good pathway for him. Will that happen? I'm pretty skeptical, but like you could talk yourself into that.
Swift is the next name. Do you want RJ Harvey or Swift?
And we're talking dynasty or redraft? Because redraft,
we're talking redraft. I think. Yeah,
I'll take Swift. I don't like. I like Monangai, but that was an incredibly juicy matchup against the Bengals. By the way, anybody who plays the Bengals, they smash. And I don't think Swift's going to fully lose his role. So I still think he's going to be the starting running back there. They clearly like Swift, even though I do not like DeAndre Swift. But I'm somehow talking myself into him every week now. So I might need to reassess where I'm at with him. But yeah, I'm fine with Swift. Would you take Harvey over Swift?
I probably would go RJ Harvey. I don't think there's a question between the talent of the two players. I think it's clearly RJ Harvey, but Swift is quick. He gets he gets what's given to him, but I think Monangai is going to work in a lot more. And then we see kind of those rookies starting to appear like Colston Loveland in the passing game. So these things are going. Komet is now healthy. I mean, Caleb Williams is doing okay. So we'll see how that continues. Yeah. But yeah, RJ Harvey, we hope he gets on the field. Sean Payton doesn't play rookies. It's not great. It's not great. Zah, what is up? Says, should I trade my 26th first for Saquon Barkley and a third?
No.
Okay. No Barkley. You're Barkley hater. Tell us.
It's more this team and where you're at with points and ranking. Like, you moving your first round pick from Barkley, does that even make you a contender? Because that move has to make you a contender, or you have the potential, particularly if there's an injury and it hurts your team even more. Like, this pick could turn a lot better than you think it could where you're at right now. You're fifth place. You're borderline playoffs, right? So you're making the move to try to get in the top three. If this move gets you into like the top two, then you could talk yourself into it. But like, I really hesitant to trade for older running backs unless I'm a certified contender, because
Fair.
the downside to that is like your team, like maybe you struggle down the stretch, you missed playoffs, and then you're like, I had a really good pick. So
yeah,
I don't want to make that move right now on this team because I'm a little bit worried about where this puts your team. So if it tells me it makes your team a top contender, sure, I'm okay with it. But outside of that, for trading for older running backs, because this time next year, it's going to be really hard to do the same thing with Barkley again, particularly because he struggled this year, right? So like he needs to be even way better than he has, like closer to what he was last year, right, to get that value back. So when buying older running backs, you kind of have to view it as like it's almost sunk cost. You're not going to get that value back. So are you okay making that? Me personally, no. I would just go find cheaper running backs. If you need running backs, go find really cheap old guys that you can get for like a second or like a throw-in piece, right? Like do that. I think that's a much more efficient way for your team.
Jesse, you are a brilliant dynasty mind. That is no hyperbole. However, week 10, Green Bay, you can run on Green Bay. Week 11, Detroit, okay, hard to run. I'm going to get closer to the mic so you can hear the sultry end of season schedule for Saquon Barkley. Week 12, nice. the Dallas Cowboys. Week 13, the Chicago Bears. Week 14, the Chargers. Week 15, Jesse, that's week 1 of the fantasy playoffs, is against the Las Vegas Raiders. Week 16, the Washington Commanders. Week 17, the Buffalo Bills. Saquon should crush this schedule. Saquon should be healthy. He just ran all over the New York Giants and was the RB3 on the week. And the last time we saw him, I agree with you that at 4 and 5 and 5th in points is not ideal. But Saquon Barkley can potentially put you over the edge. If I make this move, it's not the only move I'm making. I'm trying to make another move in the background before I click this button. But also, I might wait 2 weeks because Green Bay could have a dud, but you can run on Green Bay. Detroit, I think, is the sneaky, really difficult matchup. Then Dallas, Chicago, Chargers, Vegas, Washington, Buffalo. So it gets really nice from week 12 and beyond. So just something to consider there. But yeah, always hard to give up first, especially when it might not be late. Frosty says Tez Johnson this week. What are we thinking for the youthful Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver? No one else really healthy in town, but going up against my New England Patriots. Is he going to see a bunch of Christian Gonzalez? Maybe.
I mean, I would hope not, because he's playing a lot of slot for them. So I don't think they're going to put Christian Gonzalez on the outside. Maybe they do. Like they have, but like they still have Egbuka, right? And unless Egbuka misses this game, then it's a whole nother scenario.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think Tez can still get you 5-6 targets in this game. He can be somewhat viable. But yeah, man, like the Patriots are good. Like I don't think people realize how good the Patriots are in general. They're a pretty good team. I'm sure you know it. You watch them every week.
I don't mind.
You are a Patriots fan.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, so I think he's fine, but he's going to be that like wide receiver 4 rankings. Like he's going to be. Yeah. I think I have him wide receiver 43 or somewhere in there. Like I'm not super bullish on him. Like I'm okay with him. I don't mind firing him up as a flex if you need to.
Yeah, he's a flex if you need him. Holy crap, we have a lot of questions in the chat, so we're going to rapid fire these guys for you. Let's do it. Ryan says, Isaiah Davis, potential league winner because Brees is driving a go-kart around the locker room, yes or no?
I mean, sure, if Brees misses time, then yeah, Isaiah Davis moves into a really juicy role. But FYI, they're playing Cleveland this week, so I do not want to start Isaiah Davis against Cleveland.
Yeah. It might have to be Isaiah Davis. I don't know. Ranked 5th, middle of the pack, 4 and 5, best of them. Would you make that move? That's the move we just talked about, Saquon. Jesse says no. Yeah. I say wait. So immediately, probably no in the next week or two. Yes. Yeah. Frosty, is Matthew Golden droppable? Depends what you have, how deep your leagues are, but probably in redraft, you can drop him. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah. Like Christian Watson came in and just basically replaced him immediately. So he needs to earn a much better role and pathway. And the weird thing with round 1 wide receivers is like their role doesn't really grow like the rest of rookies. Their role starts out strong and then it just stays flat. It's weird with round 1 wide receivers. So maybe, but I'm fine moving off.
Next week is supposed to be the week that Jaden Reed comes back as well. Week 11. That's what we were told all along. We'll see if that comes to fruition. Yeah. Jacob, 12-man, PPR, 7-2. Should he trade Saquon, Kelsey for Bucky, Irving, Garrett Wilson, and Pitts? That's a rough one. Kind of like it.
I'd be fine.
And there's his team down there. Who do you want?
I mean, this depends on how healthy you think Bucky's going to be, because this injury is lingering longer than it's getting comfortable with.
Yeah.
But I will say you're getting a mid-wide receiver one in Garrett Wilson to insulate this package, and then you're getting Kyle Pitts, who's a downgrade from Kelsey, but he's fine, right? So you also have Gadsden, so you're okay. I don't mind doing this deal because you have JT, you're stacked right there. Bucky slots in your RB2 slot, then you get Garrett Wilson, upgrades your wide receiver room, because Jefferson is not the top 3 guy that he used to be due to that offense right now. So yeah, I'm okay with this deal, but how much risk do you willing to take on? You're 7-2. This is probably the type of move the 7-2 team should make. But would you make this move, Jeremy?
I do this move, but I immediately flip Justin Jefferson for a James Cook, an elite scoring running back, if you can get them. Because you will need running back help after this, because Bucky's hurt. When's he coming back? Benson's hurt. When's he coming back? Harvey, is he ever going to get on the field enough to want him? And those are your running backs. So I get it. You're 7-2. You have some time. But let me get close to the mic to read you the Bucky Irving end of season schedule. Week 14, New Orleans. Week 15, we don't like Atlanta. Week 16 at Carolina. Week 17 at Miami. At Miami is really what I love. But Carolina, not so bad either. I love Bucky. I'm holding him where I can for the end of season, assuming he's healthy. Jacob, again, 2 other trades. Kelsey and Harvey for Judkins. Yes. Oh, Kelsey, Harvey, and for Judkins, Wandale. Yeah. I'm missing that one.
Harvey, and then it's okay, so no, this is just Kelsey and Judkins for Harvey for Judkins. And then I don't know.
Yes, you're right.
Is it just Harvey for BTJ and the other one? So these are 2 other trades. I don't know where it breaks on the trades. So it's a little bit confusing the way it's written. So you might want to re-clarify that, Jacob, because I don't fully understand what we're doing.
Probably yes. Jamie, what is up? Thanks for jumping in. Tillman is back. They're not going to be able to get the ball in.
Nobody gives a flying about Tillman.
Love it. Need 2 wide receivers and a flex in PPR. We got Nico, Olave, Debo, Devonta, Jalen Warren. Who are you playing? 2 wide receivers and a flex. So Jalen Warren's in there, right? He's our flex. So who are 2 wide receivers?
I'm not doing Debo. It depends on how you feel about Devonta. I have him actually pretty high, but I'm still going to play Nico, even though I know it's risky with Mills. He's going to get 10 targets. And then I think I have Olave a couple spots above Devonta. I think I do. I'm not 100%. I need to double check that. But it's between Olave and Devonta for me.
I will do that as well. I'll go Nico, Olave, and you got to flex Jalen Warren this week. Jason traded Rico, White, and Harrison for Chase Hampton, Woody, Jamar Chase, I assume, and not Chase Brown.
Because you'd be doing 2 running backs there.
3 running.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's Jamar Chase because of the level of player you're getting with that. I'm assuming
that's a W.
Yeah, you get Jamar Chase. You know what you get. So yeah, and then you get the upside that Hampton brings. So yeah,
it's a tough one. We don't know about Hampton. Is he still in the boot? Maybe. Yeah, he says yes. It is Jamar Chase.
Post by. Then it's post
get
by.
The best player in the deal. Go for it.
Love it.
So
look at that team. That's sexy. Mm-hmm. Oh baby. I will say try to find a way to upgrade your tight end, because Hunter Henry is boom bust tight end too. But outside of that, this team looks really, really, really freaking strong.
Who are we trading? You can't trade Javonte. You can't trade Sutton because you're not going to get the value you want. You could trade Hampton or Nico for tight end.
Yeah, you're not. Hampton's not doing anything for you. So if you, I guess, depends on who you like more between those 2 guys. That guy's getting packaged in a deal with Henry to a high end tight end. Can you get McBride? Can you go get Warren, one of those guys? Then I would do that. Yeah.
Or get a Pitts, a guy who's steady but who people hate. You know what I mean? Steven says, "What is up? Starting Dobbs, Addison, DJ Moore, or Kenneth Walker? Let's rank these guys. Who do you have?"
So I'm big on Dobbs. I've bought 4 or 5 shares for the past week. So
you did.
We're playing Dobbs. We're playing Dobbs here for sure. Addison, no. I'll play DJ Moore over Addison just based on what we've seen from that offense. In general, I'll take the upside, which sucks because Addison's really good.
So good.
He is super good, but they need to pass more. I would start Dobbs and DJ Moore. I'm not touching Kenneth Walker. No shots. We're playing Walker here. If
Aaron Jones sits, are you more apt to play Addison?
Yeah, like they're gonna have to because Jordan Mason's not gonna earn targets, right? So yeah, I'd be fine doing that. If he does sit, then yeah, I'll throw Addison out there. But they need to pass more, please.
Yeah, and I think he's on track to play at the moment anyway. So yikes. Yep, Jamar Chase. Last one from Jason again. Weak spot is tight end with Henry. Yeah, you're gonna have to figure that out and get kind of a sneaky guy in a package or see who's available on waivers, like a guy who people aren't excited about with the Jacoby trade, like a Parker Washington, someone who's Tej Johnson. We talked about him. Troy Franklin probably not available at this point after he scored another touchdown. But if those guys are sneaky and they're available, you can plug them into Flex 2. But Flex 2 is going to, is really going to be the one that you should be playing around with, not tight end. And Hunter Henry just isn't doing it. Last one from the Lizard King. Start Johnston or JMO. It's got to be a JMO week, man. They fed him after the bye. He's playing against a team that cannot cover anyone, and Detroit is going to run up the score because they got embarrassed last week. QJ, there's too many mouths. I know it's Pitt. I'm starting JMO.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Yes. Once they're out, you pull you back in on JMO over there.
That's
like,
it.
yes,
100%.
baby, I'm back. Yeah. You laid it out perfectly. The upside. These are two super boom bust wide receiver, like 3 types. To tell you the truth, the upside is there. They can be top 5, or they can be wide receiver 50 on a week. You don't know how it goes with these guys. Take the upside, JMO. It's just I am a little bit worried about the Chargers offense with like kind of the offensive line, the shambles that it's been in recently. So yeah, I think JMO's just safer, which is crazy to say.
Also in Washington, Luvu did not get suspended, but it's just looking like it's trouble. It's trouble there in Washington. They also got a lot of old heads who are going to start. I don't know if they're going to start retiring. I don't know if Bobby Wagner and Von Miller just get together and start a podcast and are just like, we're done, we're out. But it's done in Washington. We're hoping on Jaden Daniels in 3 weeks, and so are all those guys to make a run, but unlikely. Jason, appreciate you giving us the questions. We appreciate all of you joining us here for the roundtable. We didn't talk about Kobe at all. We had the graphic up. Jesse, a quick 30 seconds on Jacoby Myers. What do you think he does in Jacksonville?
Go pick up Jacoby Myers. I'm expecting him to take over not really take over Parker Washington, but really diminish what Parker Washington can do. This week, no, but this is the week you pick him up. Let him sit on your bench. You see how it goes because they need something else in that offense. And Jacoby Myers is a very just quality NFL wide receiver. So
agree.
In like 2 or 3 weeks, I think he'll be their leading wide receiver unless BTJ is on the field.
Yeah, PPR, yes, half PPR. I am still worried he does not score touchdowns, and now he's paired with a quarterback who does not throw touchdowns. So it's a nice marriage. It's a nice marriage there. Good Lord, look, should have always been that way. But I agree with you. Yeah, I would. Would you sell Jacoby Myers for a second in Dynasty right now?
Yeah, because he's the type of wide receiver you're not going to be investing to get. What are you paying him for, like a flex range, right? And if you're paying seconds, you're probably a contender. So he should be in like an ancillary piece, not a piece you're really targeting. So yeah, I'll flip those guys for 2s all the time.
Nice. Here's a real question, Jesse. Are you joining me on TikTok in a couple of minutes, or are you like, I'm done talking ball, I'm going to go do my own thing?
No, we'll do TikTok. We can do TikTok. We'll co-host it. It'll be fun.
Nice. So there's the link on there. We're going to sign off of here, but that QR code will take you to our TikTok page. If you want to continue the conversation, we get a bunch of questions and we'll just rapid fire Q&A over there as well if you have more for us. If not, we'll see you here. What are we doing now? 30 minutes prior to game time, I think.
Well, are you going live on TikTok tomorrow for the Sunday early European game?
That's a good point. Yeah. So the early game on TikTok, I'm live 30 minutes before that game. Maybe I'll do 45 minutes because those have been pretty lively. I have to figure that out. But let's say 45 minutes before game time. We'll just start talking ball. We'll talk about what's going on before. So that's crap. Eastern time. What is that? 8:15? 8:15 in the morning. Unless it's a 9:30 game.
5:15 West Coast. Woo!
Hey, I'm in Amsterdam. It's like 3 in the afternoon, baby. So we're good. I'm in there.
Well, we'll figure it out. There'll be a show around like 9 or 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 here. So we'll be here at some point tomorrow.
But anyway, start sits. We got them before the early game. We got them before the regular game over on TikTok. We're also over here as well. If you prefer YouTube, we'll be here at least 30 minutes before game time, if not an hour before game time. So just join us. The schedule will all be clear to you. Just feel free to message us. Let us know what you're interested in. We are here for the people, if nothing else. Anyway, we're going on over to TikTok now. Join us there. Thank you so much for joining us here. I am Jeremy. That is Jesse. We are leaving. Goodbye. See you later.
FFU.